ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AMD President and CEO, Dr. Lisa Su.
Welcome, welcome. How are you guys all doing? All right, welcome to our next Ryzen gaming event. This is like a phenomenal crowd. It's so good to see you all here today in the theater at E3. Are you guys having fun? Okay, and you know, E3 is an amazing place, and every year, millions of gamers look forward to seeing new games and new gaming technology. And so we are just super excited to be here today with you to unveil some of our newest and most important gaming technologies and partnerships. And we have a lot in store for you today. And we also have some amazing partners. You're going to see some amazing stuff this afternoon. So let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready? Okay, so look, as we just saw in the video, today is all about the question, what's next? Our goal at AMD is to push the envelope on technology, and the entire team is always asking, what's next? So, whether it's what's next in PCs, or what's next in consoles, or what's next in the cloud, we're going to show you some really exciting stuff that just answers that question of what's next. So look, it's an incredibly exciting time for gamers everywhere. Just take a look across all of the most exciting platforms. When we think about gaming, graphics is at the heart of gaming, and AMD Radeon is truly everywhere. Just look at every category of the market, whether you're talking about PCs, or you're talking about notebooks, or desktops, or Macs, or game consoles, or the cloud, or now even mobile, with our new partnership between AMD and Samsung to power future mobile devices. We are making Radeon the most widespread graphics engine in gaming. And this year in 2019, what you're seeing is the results of some of those big bets that we actually made 3 to 5 years ago. So look, we bet on 7-nanometer process technology for faster and more efficient silicon. We bet on these new engines, and these engines are incredible. Our new Zen 2 CPU core and our new RDNA graphics architecture. And frankly, we put these things together in a really smart way with chiplet technologies that give you great capability and flexibility. So last month, Sony announced that the next-gen PlayStation would be built around AMD's new gaming architectures. And we've been working collaboratively with Sony over the last few years to build a custom chip based on the Zen 2 and the next-gen Radeon architectures. Now, you also heard recently that Google announced at this year's Game Developers Conference Stadia, its new cloud streaming service. And this is also powered by AMD Radeon GPUs. Now, let me ask, since we are at E3, how many of you caught the Xbox event yesterday? Totally action-packed. But what you heard from Phil Spencer and the Microsoft team is they announced the next generation Xbox, codenamed Project Scarlet. Now, Project Scarlet is powered by a custom processor co-engineered between our team and the Microsoft team, and it uses our Zen 2 CPU core and our next generation Radeon RDNA gaming graphics architecture. So look, for all of you who love PCs, and love building your own gaming rigs, and love the best of technology, today is for you. Are you guys excited about 3rd Gen Ryzen? Yeah! Okay, I have to say, the anticipation around 3rd Gen Ryzen is really impressive, okay? You guys are amazing. So our goal is very simple. Our goal is to give you the best CPU for every gamer. And it all starts with the CPU core, the engine. 15% instructions per clock uplift. Double the cache size for lower memory latency for faster gaming. And double the floating point, which is really great for creative workloads. And if you think that we're really proud of the Zen 2 engine, when we bring this over to the product side, it's fantastic. Just take a look at this stack. So we are extremely excited about our 3rd generation Ryzen 7 and Ryzen 9 stack. And if you think about it, Ryzen 7 processors, 8 cores, 16 threads. We have the new flagship Ryzen 9 3900X, which is the first 12-core processor for mainstream gamers. let me just show you a little bit of the numbers, okay? Let's just start at the top of the stack and see how 3900X stacks up against the competition. All right, what we're comparing now is the 3900X against the competition's Core i9 9920X, which, by the way, is a $1,200 processor. And this is 12-core to 12-core comparison. And what you see is that the 3900X wins by 14% in single-threaded performance. We also win in multi-threaded performance. And all of this is at 105 watts. And by the way, it's less than half the price. Now, I know some of you have also been wondering, just how does the 3900X perform in games, right? And here we compare the 3900X, again, now versus the 9900K, okay? And this is across some of the top AAA gaming titles. This is in 1080p, so that we can really stress the CPU. And what you just see is incredible performance for these titles. Very high frame rates, essentially maximum gaming performance. So let's actually see a real-world use case for the 3900X, not just for gaming. We're going to show you gaming, but we're going to show you what you can really do when you take the 3900X for a spin.
All right, so 1440p is a big deal because we want to drive more pixels, drive higher frame rates. So let's take a look at Tom Clancy's Division 2, running at 1440p. Just hit World Tier 5 myself, gear score 503. If anybody else plays, hit me up, right? And what you see is a very comparable gaming experience. But what you really see is the Ryzen 9 3900X, this beautiful, monstrously powerful 12-core CPU, delivering an incredible gaming experience. 12-core gaming chip, that's uncommonly powerful. So what if we played this game and streamed it to YouTube at 10,000 kilobits using the slow OBS preset, which is just a quality preset that's so far above what most processors can do? What would that look like? Let's take a look at the stream view. This is what a viewer would see if we streamed this game on both of these processors. Yes, we did start the stream for the other guy, right? That is the magic of a 12-core processor for gaming. You can do things that you couldn't do before. The other guy with 8 cores, sorry. All right, so let's take a look at the data. I want to show you by the numbers what you just saw. And both processors, same frame rates, but a real gaming experience from us and a smooth streaming experience for the viewer. That's how it should be.
So, for anyone who's wondering why you need a 12-core processor for gaming, do you believe it now? Yeah. And now, let's take a look at the Ryzen 7 3800X in action. We're comparing the 3800X against the 9700K across the same titles in 1080p. And what do you see? Again, you see just fantastic frame rates, well over 200 frames per second in most games at 1080p. And of course, you know that we have double the threads, and so the 3800X just outperforms and really shines in creative workloads. But look, I said I have something for everyone. So now let's turn to the Ryzen 5 stack. And frankly, there are a lot of PC users who might have a budget of, let's call it $200 to $250. And the idea is to get the best processor you can get. And for that, the Ryzen 5 family is just a perfect fit. So these guys are 6 cores, 12 threads, Ryzen 5 3600 and 3600X. They have all the benefits of the new tech. So you got the Zen 2 core, you got the new infrastructure. And again, let me show you how these guys game, because they really game very, very well. Take a look versus a competition. This time it's versus the 9600K. And when you look, again, across all of these gaming metrics, the performance is frankly spectacular. It still has double the threads for creative applications, so you can do a lot with this guy. But as I said, we're all about showing you our products in action. So let's bring Robert back and let us show you Ryzen 5 for the first time. Robert?
All right. And so our job is to give you the best freaking processor you can get for $250. So I want to show you 1440p again, running CSGO. This is a very CPU-sensitive title that requires hundreds of frames per second. And we're going to show you side by side our $250 CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads versus theirs. And again, you see a very comparable gaming experience, upwards of 300 frames a second. And any CSGO player will tell you that every frame counts, because if you're trying to 360 no-scope someone, every frame matters. So for $250, 6 cores, 12 threads, you're getting an amazing gaming experience for a really nice price. And that, again, for any customer, is how it should be.
All right, so that was really great. Now, there you have the entire 3rd generation Ryzen stack. And this is leadership everywhere, from 6 cores to 8 cores to 12 cores, leadership at every price point. And so there is a Ryzen for every one of you enthusiast gamers. And all of these are on shelf July 7th, 7/7 globally. All right, so look, I know you guys are incredibly excited about Ryzen, but you know, it's time to go to the other half of the ultimate game platform. And now it's time to talk about NAVI, our next generation GPU. So look, NAVI is now called our affectionate Radeon 5700 series. And this GPU is designed brand new from the grounds up for gaming. And like we did with the CPU side with Zen, it was really, our vision to take a fresh look at the GPU architecture. The RX 5700 really starts with our brand new Radeon DNA, or RDNA architecture. We focused on architecture, we focused on design improvements, we focused on delivering more gaming performance with faster clock speeds and more performance per clock. And all of this at lower power. Also with PCI Gen 4 as the world's first gaming GPU. We thought it was time to build a brand new architecture for gaming like we did on the CPU side. And that means we have all new stuff. We have a new compute unit design, we have new caches, we have a streamlined graphics pipeline. But what that means to you from a gaming standpoint is that we are seeing a 25% increase in graphics performance per clock cycle and a 50% increase in performance per watt with RDNA. All right, E3, meet the Radeon RX 5700 XT. Is that gorgeous or what? All right, look, we are so proud of the 5700 XT, and all of you are going to fall in love with it as well. What can I tell you? The 5700 XT is delivering leadership performance in its class. So there's so much for us to tell you. Let me invite Scott Herkelman, our head of the Radeon gaming business, to come take it away. Scott?
Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, gamers. Hello, welcome to E3. I'm so excited for you to all be here. We have been working on this GPU for quite a long time, and it is a pleasure to finally unveil it to you. I've been reading all the Reddit, Twitter threads. I watch all the streamers who talk about GPUs all the time, and there's always these rumors. But it's more fun to just show you the product itself. So let's go ahead and get started on the specs. 40 compute units, up to 9.75 teraflops, 8 gigabytes of GDDR6, a boost clock of 1905, and a game clock of 1755. Now, game clock is a new terminology, and that's what you're going to average see in a game on our game clock when you're playing most games. So it's a new one for you, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about that after the show. And then a 1605 base clock. But we didn't just stop there. Of course, it all includes the new RDNA architecture. Of course, it's on the 7-nanometer process. And of course, is the first GPU, gaming GPU in the world to support PCI Express 4.0. Okay, let's go ahead and start the demo. This next demo is a game called World War Z. It's one of my favorite games that just came out in April. And if you haven't played this game, over 2 million gamers bought and played this game across the world. Fantastic amount of people for Saber Interactive to get into the game. Thousands of zombies run at you. You can stand behind a Gatling gun and mow them down. So if you haven't played it, you should definitely try it. Around what you can see here on the right is the 5700 XT running in 1440p against the RTX 2070, the same product in its class. And an amazing result, 117 frames per second versus our competitors' 102 frames per second. What do you think about that? Now, just in order of transparency, this is best. So a lot of you know that gamers sometimes play on DirectX 11, sometimes gamers play with DirectX 12 enabled, sometimes gamers play with Vulkan. We've just taken the best score from each of the GPU manufacturers, and we said, put the best versus the best. So that way there's no trickery, and you can see that in its class, in the $499 class, the RX 5700 XT beats the competition and beats it consistently. For our second announcement today is a brand new product called the Radeon RX 5700. It's got 36 compute units, up to 7.9 teraflops, also 8 gigabytes of GDDR6, a boost clock up to 1725, and a game clock of 1625. And now what you'll want to see next is where will this one be positioned? How does it compete against our competitor? The Radeon RX 5700 against the nearest competitor, the GeForce RTX 2060. This is actually Apex Legends, playing it at 1440p. And one of the most heaviest things you can do in Apex Legends is throw thermite grenades. And that's probably one of somebody's friends just really taking a whole bunch of thermite grenades right at their feet and burning them. But the ending result of the 5700 against the 2060 is 88 frames per second versus 72 in esports. What do you think? So now let's take a look at the data. Again, fast, no matter the API. Their fastest versus our fastest. Nothing trickery to see here for the gamers watching on the stream or in the audience. But what you can see here is that up to 10% faster than the RTX 2060 in the top 10 games that have launched in the last year. Truly leading performance in its class. So let's go ahead and dive into the Navi GPU family features. So RDNA, Lisa mentioned this a little bit ago, is our brand new grounds-up architecture built for the Navi GPU family, and the first products in that family are the 5700 series. Comes standard on the 7-nanometer process, support for GDDR6, and again, first in the family of GPUs for gaming to support PCI Express 4.0. And then we also have two new features that we're launching with the Navi family, which is the Radeon Media Engine for 4K encode, 4K decode, and also FreeSync HDR support, and then the Radeon Display Engine. So that will support DisplayPort 1.4, as well as a whole bunch of other features and cabling systems. So that way, as you look towards buying new monitors, you can use the Navi family of GPUs to get the best refresh rates, the highest resolutions, and of course, increased bandwidth to any virtual reality headset. So that's the Navi GPU family features. When we introduce new features that increase the quality of your in-game play, virtually no performance hit versus our competition. We have a new feature and many new features in our software package that we're rolling out, but today I would like to zero in on one that I think every Radeon gamer is going to enjoy right away. And this is called Radeon Anti-Lag. Let me talk to you about this feature. So if you love esports and you love beating your friends at esports, you now will have a chance to beat the GeForce GPU owners at esports. So let me talk to you about that. This is essentially a new feature. As we all know, lag to a server when you're playing an esports game is one of the most frustrating things. And so we took a look at that and said, how can we improve the lag between the GPU and the monitor? And one way to do that is to take a look at how we deliver the software from the GPU to the monitor and see if we can mitigate some of that lag. This is the feature to do that for you. And what I'd like to do is bring Robert back up on the stage, explain a little bit about the demo and the feature and why esports gamers are going to love it. Robert?
Scott, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay. So gamers all the time, they talk about getting higher frames per second because that reduces input lag, or the time between clicking a mouse or pressing a button and that showing up on the screen. So let's show two systems with the Radeon RX 5700 XT versus the RTX 2070, both running at around 60 frames a second. And in green, you can see that motion to photon latency. It's about 57 milliseconds from the time you press the button on your mouse or your keyboard to the time it comes out of the monitor into your eyes. Driving frame rates higher, that brings that number down. But what if there were a way to decouple the frame rate from the input lag? You could make that input lag lower even at the same frame rate. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable Radeon Anti-Lag, and you'll see that on the RX 5700 XT. You're going to drop to about 44 milliseconds of input lag, which is a full frame and a half of improvement over what you would have without this feature. So if you're looking for that competitive advantage in Dota, League, CSGO, where every frame matters, this technology can do it for you.
So let me just show you some data before and after. So these are across the most popular esports games using our brand new RX 5700 XT, both on and off. And you can see on average, you save about 31% of latency in the click to response on the screen, which is fantastic. And in the very popular game Fortnite, it can be up to 35%. Okay, so the real reason why all of you are watching here is how much is this going to cost you? I think that's the question, right? Yeah. The Radeon RX 5700 XT will be available for $449. Leadership performance in the $399 segment, the Radeon RX 5700 will be available for $379. I am super excited about this. I'm super excited to bring you the best performance per dollar in the industry and without hurting your frame rates with new features and technology. I think that's what you deserve, and I'm so happy to bring it to you finally. Very soon, which is July 7th, which is my other announcement. But there is one more thing you're going to get from us. And that next thing is we have a fantastic partnership with Microsoft. As you saw yesterday in the announcement they made yesterday, but we're also announcing today that when you buy a 5700 series GPU, you will be able to play Gears 5 and 100 other PC games, and you can also get that same bundle with select Ryzen CPUs. What do you think? Does that sound great? Very good.
Okay. Well, hey, look, are you guys excited about the 5700 XT and the 5700? Are those great GPUs? And guess what? I have one more GPU for you today. All right, my friends. This is a very special GPU, and it's in honor of our 50th anniversary this year. This is the 50th anniversary edition Radeon 5700 XT. Now, is this incredibly gorgeous? Okay, now I know it looks pretty, but you also want to know what the specs of this card are, don't you? Yeah. And this card is the best of the best. The highest performer of the 5700 series at 40 compute engines and a boost clock of 1.98 gigahertz. Now, we are super excited about this special edition, and it's going to be available exclusively on AMD.com at a price of $499. Okay, guys, but you know I have two kids. Right? We have our GPUs and our CPUs. So if we had an extra GPU, we have to be fair, right? And we also have to have an extra CPU. So I know you guys have all been wondering what is the best of Ryzen. So earlier, you saw the 3900X. AMD is not only pushing gaming beyond 8 cores. We are not only pushing gaming to 12 cores, but I am so proud to introduce today, for the very, very first time here at E3, meet the world's first 16-core gaming processor. This is the 3950X, okay? This is the best of the best. It's 16 cores, 32 threads, the highest boost frequency in our stack with a boost up to 4.7 gigahertz. An amazing 72 megabytes of total cache. All of this at 105 watts. Incredible performance, incredible power, the best of the best. And you can expect to see Ryzen 9 3950X for gamers around the world this September for $749. Look, we love to have fun at AMD, so we took this guy for a spin over the weekend here at E3. Take a look at some records being broken.
Today we're going to be trying to break several world records with the new Ryzen 3rd generation 3950X. We're going to be using liquid nitrogen, cooling the part way down, and see what we can do.
So we just dropped the temperature down. We're going to try to modulate it here in a certain range. We've set the BIOS for the CPU voltage, and we're going to do everything else in Ryzen Master. So we're going to set 5.3. I think Ahmed already clicked the button.
Yep.
Okay, so...
We're at the right frequency.
Okay, go.
All right. It's running.
Was that great or what? All right, look, we have had so much fun this afternoon, but now I really do need to wrap up. So I hope you get a feeling of how excited we are. We are so proud of our upcoming Ryzen 3000 CPUs and Radeon 5700 GPUs. You know, together, they are just an amazing platform for gamers. And what I said is we want to put the best technology in every gamer's hands. And so when you put these products together, we have a leadership PC platform for every one of you out there. Leadership at every price point. That's our commitment, giving gamers the best everywhere. And we can't wait to get these products in your hands. The entire lineup will be available on shelf worldwide July 7th. We hope you have a phenomenal summer building and gaming on Ryzen and Radeon. Thank you.